But at least you got some great stories out of it.
There's some great stories.
Guys,
Some great stories, so...
The people who, like, the clientele, the culture around Retox is so massively, like, wild, right? How did you ever get to a point where, like, we've gone too far?
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, it's grown beyond us. Like, how do we keep...
It's out of our control now.
It's out of our control.
How will we ever rein this?
Was there ever a moment where you were like, wow, this is, like, what the fuck? How did this happen?
What was that moment?
Yes. Do you want to tell a story about a certain foam party?
Oh, you mean the one where we had to carry a guy out because he nosedived into the foam pit thinking that the
foam would support him.
Ground underneath the foam must have been made of marshmallows
And he snapped his neck.
Unicorn
He
farts.
broke his neck.
Oh,
He
shit.
did not break his neck, did he?
Yes, he did. And he came back.
4
years later.
Oh yeah, I remember you introducing me to him when he came back afterwards. I was like, mate,
That was
oh my
his
god.
first night traveling.
I remember seeing him being
lad.
carried out. I remember seeing him being carried out and like just blood coming down his face, and someone told me what he did, and I was equal parts shocked and just shocked.
Yeah.
Number one, at the sight of it, and number two, at the utter stupidity.
Yeah.
Knowing that he was standing on solid concrete, and the only thing that could be underneath that big vat of foam was more solid concrete, and he decides to nosedive into it. I'm just like, mate, you know what? I have no words, and so I think, yeah. I mean, there definitely does come a time when you realize that, damn, I set all this up, I filled it with foam, like I brought in all the UV lights, there's fucking balloons up in the air, and I thought it was going to be a great party, and someone just ruined it by being an idiot. So what would you say that moment was for you? Because that was my moment, but what was your moment?
That direction on my redirection. Smike?
I have more than one. I have dozens.
I bet.
I have at least 5 or 6 moments where I thought, my life is over, this business is over, we're going to prison. So, do you want the first one?
Yes, come on.
Sure. First one that comes to mind.
First one that comes to mind.
The first one was the first time I painted a guy from neck to toe in spray paint, black spray paint, and almost killed him.
Jesus Christ!
So we had this thing back in the day called street justice. So if you fucked up, like you're an asshole to somebody, street justice. You have to do something that's equally bad to you, the offender, because we're a community, right? So our friend Aaron, he's a miner in Australia. He's like a 6 months on, 6 months off travel guy. He was here. Our friend Milk pissed in his bag, drunk. Pissed in his, rucksack, basically.
All over his jeans.
So the next day, I walk into Retox, and they're like, street justice for Milk. I'm like, what happened? He tells me, I'm like, what are you going to do? They're like, we're going to spray paint him. We're going to tie him to a pallet, and we're going to drag him through the streets. And I'm like, okay. I don't think the punishment...
Who came up with this?
Aaron, who had his bag pistoned. So I said, I don't think the punishment fits the crime. It's a little heavy. I'm not against you painting him, but I think tying him to a pallet and dragging through the streets a little too much, because also it draws a lot of attention to us. I don't think that's good for us out in the city. So, let's do the first part. So they tied him to a chair. They tied him to a chair, and they got spray paint, black spray paint. They spray painted him from his neck to his toes. Halfway through, he pissed himself, and that wasn't weird because he would get drunk pretty early. He's from Hawaii. Milk, great guy. Great story about what his name, why he was called Milk, but that's another story. He started pissing himself. We're all laughing, and he had this kind of nervous laugh, so he just laughed along, and none of us thought anything of it. And then they finished the spray painting. Again, neck to toes, every part of him. Except he was wearing underwear. They let him wear underwear, like little underwear. He got off out of the chair after he pissed himself. He crab walked through the bar. It was hilarious. We took photos, and then all of a sudden, he was really woozy. And we're like, that's not drunk woozy. That's weird woozy. So
Weird woozy.
I Googled, is spray painting a human bad? And it was definitively bad. Toxic. So I freak out. I bring in Kyle Malone, who was my number 2 at the bar at the point, at the hostel, was managing the hostel. And I'm like, this is bad. We need to get this off him. I call Susie, and I'm like, this is bad. I fucked up. This is a bad deal. We spray painted Milk. It's toxic. He's getting weird. But it's okay. Me and Kyle are going to rub him down with rubbing alcohol, and it's going to be okay.
Oh shit.
How
Everyone
drunk did he get from being rubbed down with rubbing alcohol?
Well, here's the thing. We went to the pharmacy. We got a bottle of rubbing alcohol, which is tiny, not much. And Kyle's like, "It's the best I could do." I'm like, "Fuck, let's go." Take him upstairs. We strip him down. We throw him in the shower with the water on, and we just start rubbing him down. 2 adult males rubbing down a kid, spray painted from neck to toe in black spray paint
took
with
a photo
rubbing
first,
alcohol.
right?
Did you take a photo?
I took a photo
It's
of him
framed
like
somewhere.
running through the bar, and I was like, "That's super cool. He looks like he's made out of black volcanic glass." We almost killed this motherfucker. So we rubbed him down, and then Kyle stayed with him all night to make sure that he didn't die, like, because he was like shivering and cold, and it was like feeding him water because like it's toxic, like it's
Yeah, the same
awful.
guy put a
You still wearing
tampon.
clothes? Were you still wearing clothes in the shower?
Yeah, we wore clothes.
Okay.
Now they stripped down. They thought they'd put on some.
There was no. It's funny. There was no point that I thought, "Let me take my clothes off in the shower."
Yeah,
It
that's
felt
kinda
right to
weird.
keep the clothes.
But like, Milk also put that tampon into rum and put it up his butt, called a rum pon.
It's called a rum bum.
Rumpon.
Yeah, rum bum, whatever.
Well, we met our friend Bear. His name's Marty. So there's a group of guys from the UK. What's the
Like
UK?
Jackass.
Yeah, what's the UK version of Jackass?
Oh.
I don't know what the name of them are. but
Yeah.
He was their manager. They're called like the Wild Boys or some bullshit like
Yeah.
that. But they were way more wild than the Jackass guys, you know.
Yeah.
So he was their manager. I'm like, I've never heard of them. And then one night, because he's staying at Retox, he shows us his videos where like they have a Thai prostitute underneath the table that's just sucking off one of the random guys while they drink beer, and you have to guess who it is. I'm like, oh yeah, this is way more hardcore than Jackass. But he's like, I don't get into it. These are just my friends from high school, so I'm like their manager. And he's like, but we used to do rum bums. Like, I don't know what a rum bum is. He's like, oh, you don't know what a rum bum is? He's like, give me a shot glass with rum. And anyone got a tampon? And then he took the tampon, he drops in the shot, and he goes, let me show you. And he put it up his ass. And he goes, and that's a rum bum. I'm like, dude, that's ridiculous. I'm never going to do that, but thank you. And then we got a snake of 15, 20 people giving each other massages.
Yeah.
We did a massage snake, like where you massage the person in front of you, the person behind. We did that. We turned around in 20 minutes. We massaged each other. It was real fucking weird.
Did you close the circle at one point? Where
No.
like everyone's massaging someone
Not
else?
that night.
No?
I don't know if we did it another time, but I just remember Marty with the rum bums. Who, we did a big massage. He was awesome. We didn't kill him. He was great.
We didn't kill Milk either.
Oh no, yeah, we didn't.
This is gonna clear.
Just to clear
Although
That
she
guy
was
survived.
passed out
We haven't
one
killed
night, and
anyone.
Jesus, nickname, draw around him, fucking like he was dead. He was not dead.